everyone. I hope you're doing well. If you're new here, my name is Bhavin, and I'm going to be talking about navigating life after high school today. And this is all advice and a video that I wish someone had kind of made for me when I was kind of in that transition stage of graduating about 4 years ago. So let's get started. The first thing I want to kind of mention is that university and college, unless you come from an extremely wealthy family and you're kind of on campus for all 4 years, and you're kind of doing a degree that's a little bit easier, it's not really going to be like what you see on movies or shows or whatever. The reality is, if you are going to be wanting to do something after your degree, like go to medical school, dental school, or like any difficult program or major, you're probably going to have to work very, very hard. So just be prepared for that, especially if you're in Canada and you need really good metrics for getting into like these programs because of the shortage of seats. So take that as you will. And the next thing I want to say is that it's okay to not know what you want to do like directly at the age of 18 or whatever. And it's completely fine. But what you should do is try a bunch of things. You can definitely go to Google and YouTube and search up things that you would be interested in. You can watch day in the life videos of people in that profession, basically on TikTok and YouTube as well. I'd encourage you to try lots of different subjects if you're still in school or if you have graduated or whatever. And if you're completely unsure, it's completely fine to go work a couple of jobs and figure out what you're interested in and what you're not, like right out of high school, and then start college or whatever a year later if that's what you want. Or explore like trades and stuff, because there's a huge shortage of people in the trades. Well, there's kind of like a surplus of people who have gone to university and are not maximizing their full degree and their education. So yeah, definitely like try your best to figure out the things that interest you, and especially in like 2023 in the modern day where you can do so much online, I highly recommend trying any business ideas or anything that you're interested in for a little bit. Go as hard as you can, be patient, and see if that's going to work and how that goes. You can do that while in college and university as well. So definitely reflect on your interests, your strengths, and passions before choosing. And when you do decide to go to college or university, really set a clear academic and personal kind of goal and path for yourself, because this will help you stay motivated. And if you can kind of figure out the reasons why you're doing something, it'll be way better than if you're just relying on motivation alone for getting through it. The next thing I want to talk about is going to college first, and or staying local in university due to the costs. So school in Canada is definitely cheaper than it is in the US and so, but you can still save money if you decide to go to a college first, take the 2 years of general classes, get good grades, and then transfer over. Always a good option, especially if you're unsure of exactly what you want to do. And like you still graduate with the exact same degree and everything like that. So you can keep that as you will. And I'd also recommend staying at home if that's an option for you and you don't really mind it, because you can save that and use it for a down payment, your business, and just graduate with less debt or whatever. And at that same time, really explore scholarships and grants and options like that. At UBC, if you're in the top like 5%, I think, of your major in your like cohort, you get scholarships. And especially when you're applying from high school, you can get so many scholarships if you're strong academically and you're doing extracurriculars. So don't hesitate to apply to all of those, because it'll definitely help you. So yeah, definitely look into the finances and everything, and part-time jobs or whatever else you want to kind of do to help yourself. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about is doing well in university and college. So, unlike high school, it's actually a lot more difficult to do well in post secondary because a lot of departments have a policy where they kind of want the average of a course to be around 70% to maybe 75. So, you're taking, at least at big schools like UBC, students who all had like a 93, 95 average going in and bringing it all down to like that 70 range. So students will often see that 20% decrease in their grades in like first year. So yeah, kind of know that. And in order to actually do well, what you need to do is make sure that from the first day of class, or sometimes even previewing helps, but like definitely from that first day of lecture, you're staying on top of the material. You kind of go to every single lecture. You ask questions when you need to. You can go to learning centers or office hours, or get a tutor, or do whatever you need to do in order to get the material fully, and study with your friends, constantly review, and spend most of your time doing practice questions and using flashcards to retain information and really get to like a good understanding of the material. And that's because in high school, you could get away with kind of like poor study methods, but you cannot in university. You need to really prioritize figuring out how to learn. And that's going to be really important in your first year because, at least at schools like UBC, your first year grades determine which major you can get into and what degree you can do, as well as if you're applying to like professional schools like med school or dental school. They look at like 3 years or so of credits and grades. So you definitely don't want to do really poorly in your first year if that's your goal, because these programs have admission averages of around 90% or so, among other things. So yeah, if you want to do well in school, make sure you go to class, study hard, start studying from the first week, do lots of questions, and get help when you need to. And definitely, this is the first time that you're going to have to plan your things as well. So use a calendar, use to-do list, use all the productivity tips and stuff like that. So that's how you can do well. Also, a recommendation is that you take 4 courses if that's possible for you in your first semester, just so you can get used to doing well in your courses. And if you can get good grades in all of them, you can maybe take 5. So yeah, that's how you can do well. Next thing you're going to want to focus on is networking and building relationships. So this can be whether with your professors, say because you want to get research experience for work in their lab. Definitely go to office hours and all that sort of stuff and make a good impression. And then at the end of the course, you can email them or whatever. But yeah, being great with your professors means that they will help you too if you ever need it. Your classmates and peers, to create kind of like a support system and to support your studying. You can definitely join clubs and organizations and stuff like that. But my personal recommendation is that in first year, you should really focus on your grades first, especially for like those programs, because the thing is, you can always go and get really good extracurriculars, but it's really, really hard to go back and change your grades like without ease. Versus clubs and extracurriculars, you can just start, you can just cold email, you can just find anytime basically. You can start something on your own. It's not as difficult. But university coursework, very difficult to go back and improve your grades and stuff like that. So that's my advice, especially if you're in business or something, or a degree that's mostly going to be reliant on networking. Definitely don't hesitate to message people on LinkedIn, cold email people. And that's just a good rule for life and your rest of your career. Cold emailing, just cold messaging, DMing people that you're interested in. It'll usually lead to a positive response, and people are friendly and like to help you, especially if you DM or message lots of people, there's a very good likelihood that one of them will be willing to have a chat or whatever. So yeah, networking and stuff like that, very important, especially for getting your first couple of jobs after school. So don't slack off on doing that either. And yeah, definitely prioritize your mental and physical well-being as well. For basically my entire degree, I was usually always going to the gym or going for walks or just doing things that would help me stay well, because you cannot perform at the highest level and do the best that you can be if you don't take care of yourself. So prioritize your nutrition, your sleep, and your well-being as well if you want to stay well. And yeah, remember that failure is also a part of growth, because setbacks are basically like most likely going to be part of your journey, but just use that as like a learning experience to develop resilience and adaptability. So seek guidance from mentors, professors, advisors, people in your group or whatever next to you, to navigate the challenges and setbacks effectively. And you'll notice that in your first year or first couple of midterms, you may not do as well as you hoped, but remember to just never give up and to just learn and like focus on things that you can do to improve, and you can definitely come back in a course and do well and all that sort of stuff. So I hope that is helpful for you. Yeah, like I know this is a really challenging time for young people, but it's really going to be like the people who just don't give up and just keep continuing and keep learning that will be able to kind of get through what they want to do. So I hope that is all helpful. Please leave a like, subscribe, follow, and leave a comment of some of your favorite tips as well. So that's all for now. Take care.